I relate to Eminem, but no, you don't.
Nah,
Hush.
I never meant to hurt you. Y'all never I never meant to make you cry.
but the white people
It's a concert before the car.
we didn't grow up in email. We didn't grow up in email. But
It's 20 minutes.
But you can't tell me that. Or
The boy can rap.
or he get on track with anybody else.
The boy can rap.
What you say?
The boy can rap.
Mama, I never meant to hurt you. Like,
What's up?
I never meant to make you cry.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm cleaning out my closet. Anybody
Mitch.
don't understand.
CJ.
Okay, Lord. Okay, never mind. Sorry, Mitch.
Nah.
What we doing?
Sorry.
I'm glad we're here.
I'm glad to hear. You want to tell me? You guys be downtown.
Huh?
No.
Y'all wilding, huh?
I feel like a child at this point.
No.
What y'all pay at? They need to start fighting. Why is this fight at 10 o'clock at night?
They doing a whole concert, man.
Bro, if they ain't fighting right now, what time is it?
Whole
It's
concert.
9:28. Why they fight so late?
I don't know. They gonna be fighting. What do you do with the promotion? As much as I want to. It's not caught my mind. I want to coach you, man. So what's the fight? I don't know where they fighting.
Over here. Stay there and don't.
They say you been babysitting my cousin.
I'm sorry.
All about.
I got
All about. Yeah.
Don't call me now, please. Please. Don't call me now. You good. Don't worry about it. Yeah, don't call me now. Hey, you're good. No,
The future of your business is here.
you
With
good.
VIKES, you get advanced AI capabilities.
Why is it still rapping? You know what? Yeah, turn this up. Turn this up. Turn this up. Whoever out there, he doing that same shit. Hold on, what? You not why? You there before? No. This is what crazy motivation. We put on motivation. This is one of the greatest motivations of my life. It is. Absolutely. It is. We're talking about soccer, like fashion. Oh my God. Oh my God. This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. You only get one. Oh shit. Let me shut the fuck up. Let me shut the fuck up. You should never tell me to be quiet. I asked you 1,000 times. Not that. Hey, one shot did not miss his chance. Oh, I feel that you want to but I already know it. You don't want to do it. Chance to blow. The first time you heard. They both right there. Mitch, they're not in there. They haven't been in there for like 6 months. And the thing, you got to pull it out. The first one, first door. Mitch, don't do it. You gotta get on your stomach. You gotta do an army call. You do it. Okay. So how about that? You do it. Shit. How about that? Then you be considerate, nigga. You do the first thing you know. You the second thing. You the second thing. The first thing was something out. You was number 2. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. No, I don't want to. Fuck it with them. Fuck it. Oh, they got the real ones. All right, no, for real. Let's move on. Are you like white? Okay. So you like that? Let's go! Hey, dude, being out pumping.
I don't even know.
I want to see you again. This is legendary. Anytime Crawford can continue to win at this point,
Add to his resume.
all of that.
Add to his resume. Yeah.
But it's too stop.
They say he tall. You see?
It's too stop.
Oh man, I never seen a fight. Mitch, what the hell are you doing? What bitch got caught on?
Mitch, we're not going to mix. Wait, have you eaten yet? You know he.
This one here? Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm different 13 if he's jumping. Right now, I want to watch the fight. This fight. All you gotta do is give me a couple of guys. Nate, can you do it if you really want it? My neck hurt. Well, mine will do. Twice as bad as you. Y'all niggas put these bucks at the nigga in y'all fucking state. Let's go. All right, Mitch, how about that? How about that? Like that not strong? Mitch, nobody. Mitch, y'all here for this child. Hold on. If you in a room full of y'all, you in the wrong room. So I was thinking we was fucking with shit. It's so black ass. So
If you're not making $158,000 per year, but you'd like to, I strongly encourage you to start a
Nike Trail is the right shoe for any adventure, with the Pegasus 4 for the open trail, Zagama for the rugged outdoors, or the Ultrafly for speed.
Justin, I want to just talk to you about, first of all, I want to talk to you about the contract. $140 million in the offseason. I heard through Netflix receiver program that you still live in the same $400,000 townhouse. A lot of silver, a lot of drip on you right now, man. What are you spending that money on?
Not much, man. I mean, I'm very, very, I'm more chill than anything. Everybody that knows me knows that, I'm more to myself. I'm out of this building. Or just, on the game and listening to music and just being in my own world. When I'm here, that's what I'm more focused on football, just being, just having a smile on my face, just having the most energy. Of course, coming out here at practice, engaging with the fans and everything. But, I don't really do too much outside of this building.
Well, talking about the contract.
I'm on live right now. Yeah. Yeah, I just started live and shit.
Going on 5. Got the contract. Do you feel any extra responsibility now that you have to be a leader? Do you feel your role has changed on the team?
Not really. I always said the money was going to come, regardless. Just with my play and just my ability to perform on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays.
You got Crawford, right?
I knew that the money was going to come.
Easy, or you got close fun?
Inside this
Real?
building, I always
They
had
say that boy tough, but I don't know.
role. I always had, especially since last year, had the C on my chest as a captain. So my responsibility is just to, keep this team up to where it needs to be. To be the role model inside and outside of this building, and I've been having that before the money came. So it's really nothing really has changed besides my bank account a little bit. So besides that, I'm just continue just being myself, being a leader on this team, being that vocal leader as my teammates and the coaches asked of me to do. And I want to be more of that type of player. I never was that type of player growing up. As a little kid, being in high school and college, but now it's a whole different vibe. Just trying to change that.
I want to ask you about what you learned from last season, because every year you raised the bar with your production, but had to go through a hamstring injury. You still got 1,000 yards, but you played with 4 different quarterbacks. Just what did you take away from that season? What did you learn about yourself in that year?
I have to be patient, having to be patient, and just having to stick to what I know. The hamstring injury was definitely tough. Just having to, just having to do physical therapy, having to do recovery, and trying to get back on the field as fast as possible. Missing that many games throughout the season, that's not the plan. At the beginning of the season, but things happen, injuries happen in this type of game, and you just gotta go with it. You just gotta accept what's in front of you, keep God in your prayers, and just attack it head on. Of course, my teammates, my coaches, and of course my family helped me throughout that period of keeping my head straight and not letting me get overwhelmed and rushing to get back on that field. It was just more about me getting back whenever I was ready to be back. And of course, I didn't want that injury or even come back. That whole situation and that whole transition of being off the field, doing that recovery to coming back on the field. Everybody did a great job in getting me back on that field. So now it's just all about just maintaining that, keeping my composure, and just knowing that I don't have Kirk Cousins back in this building anymore. So I got to lean on the new guys, the new quarterbacks that's in the building. I'll work with them more and just try to build that connection.
Speaking of the new quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, what have you seen from him that's been impressive? And most importantly, how much trash y'all talk about? Who had the best national championship team, the most dominant team?
I'm on it now.
I know we had the best LSU national championship team. Everybody know we had the best team. That team will go down in history as one of the best. To compete against that is that's a topic. But JJ as a player and as a person, I'm just excited how he's growing as a player. He's always asking me different questions on how to become that top tier quarterback, or not just a quarterback, just a player in general. How do I learn? How do I become better in this offense? How do I get to learn this offense better? So he's definitely always the one that's asking me questions and wanting to learn more about how to become a better professional. And our lockers are right next to each other. So even after practice, he's showing me film of, hey, how do I do this? Or what are you looking at right here? So he's definitely a student of the game at this very moment. He's just really just trying to fit in as much as he can. But he definitely has a strong arm, and I'm definitely excited to see some of the plays that he's been making out there on the field.
Well, Justin, thanks so much for doing this. We're excited to watch you again this year and see what this Vikings team can be. So best of luck this year, and enjoy this day.
Much love to y'all. Good seeing y'all.
Your father knows about saving money. Everything I'm wearing, I've had since.
And I just saved on my car insurance for driving safely to USA.
Auto insurance that flexes with you. That's what we're made for.
Joining me right now is Jalen Naylor of Minnesota Vikings receiver. We send you now. This is is the third season. And this offseason, about a month ago actually, Kevin O'Connell said that this has been your best offseason yet. What's an example of what he's talking about right there?
I mean, just being available and just making plays when the ball comes to me or when opportunities present themselves. I just try to do my best to make the play.
Talk about the word available. I think you use that a lot when talking about you. And what do you need to do to be sure to guarantee that?
Just taking care of my body each and every day. Little things, getting stretches, massages, things like that, getting in the cold temperatures, doing little extra things off the field to make sure my body's ready each and every day.
What's something that you did to improve your game this offseason?
I mean, just watching Justin and other guys in the guys on the field, just trying to take things from their game and try to put them in my mind, but still try to be my own different type of player. Just put my own stuff onto the field.
Who's your favorite receiver to watch?
Crawford? No, I'm
Never a player right now.
That maybe you use the most, you kind of look at too.
Definitely Justin, for sure. I mean, I'm in the room with him every day, so I get to see him go to work each and every day. So just trying to take little things from his game because he's the best in the game. So I'm just trying to get back where he's at one day.
Obviously, that's always a big goal around here, just getting better each and every day. What are some of the personal goals that you're making for yourself this year?
Staying healthy is number one for sure. Being able to play all the positions. And just making plays. That's all I can actually do. Making plays and just doing what the coaches want me to do.
Yeah, right now the wide receiver 3 spot is kind of open for the taking. Coach said the other day that you could see a rotation, that it could look different at times, but like you were definitely competing for that. What does that competition look like for you?
It's very competitive.
That means it's 12 for that means you want to fight over yours.
I mean, just trying to put my best foot forward. Just gain the trust of the coaches and the players around me.
They fight Los Angeles.
I know. I'm saying, check the rebounds, right?
Do you feel like you're a front runner?
Yeah, I mean,
but
I
you know
just
what?
feel like I'm
The time, you know what it is? The people who promoted this fight.
We didn't have any fans out here. We had a few fans.
That's the guy. The guy that
yesterday.
you showed.
A couple of impressive catches, especially one from JJ McCarthy. I think our fans online were able to see that one. What is it like to go up against, or what is the mindset you have to have when you have a contested catch like the one that you made yesterday?
Just like Coach Cardell says, any ball that's in the air is ours. So that was my mindset going into it. Seeing the ball in the air, I had to come down with it.
A very popular question around here is, what is it like to work with JJ McCarthy, and how is he doing this camp?
It's been amazing, man. He's just been learning each and every day and just pushing himself and pushing us as receivers. Trying to make plays. He's doing the same thing for us. So, a great guy off the field. He's a great guy to be around. So.
What is something that he does that pushes you guys to do?
I mean, just little stuff like in the locker room, like after the come in, watch the film, he'll tell us, like, keep an eye out on this. I might be looking for you right here, things like that. Just being a student of the game. That's really what's separating him right now.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to end this one on your off-season plans that didn't involve football. I know you got your family. What did you guys do together? What was one of your favorite highlights of the off-season?
I would say just celebrating my little first birthday. Yes, we just went to Cali, celebrating. We had a little party, so that was really fun.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck this season.
Sell online and grow your business with VIKES. Create a beautiful storefront for your brand by customizing product pages, galleries, cart, and checkout. Then let shoppers pay however they like. Reach new shoppers on social media and marketplaces. And engage existing customers with subscriptions, gift cards, and loyalty programs. Set up automated abandoned cart recovery to entice customers to complete their purchase. Fill orders and manage inventory from a single dashboard for all sales channels. Make insightful business decisions based on detailed.
I'm going for Crawford. But I might have the other dude I never heard of. Huh?
Yeah, you know.
It looks like an Israeli. No, what is it?
Improve on things I need to improve on.
I don't know. I ain't
you know, whether it's physical stuff or mentally hearing KO's play call.
I know this nigga's mad humble, and I know this nigga got mad humble.
Making protection calls if I need to, and getting back into the read. So feel like just got to continue to keep working and keep progressing.
Where are you from?
One more time. It presents different challenges. Just some of the different looks, some of the different personnel that, all the different DBs that can be on the field at one time.
I'm waiting on Mitch to do
Even
something
the
extremely crazy.
pass rushers, their ability to drop
See, I got my
out,
flag.
obviously his ability to bring pressure. Be able to have a plan for everything. But it's fun. It's fun to be able to compete against these guys.
Oh, you're kneeling for the flag? Oh, you're with Colin Kaepernick. You're with Colin Kaepernick. Yes, about to say that. What is he?
When you're getting ready for a game, you have certain coverages and whether it's third downs, base game plan, but you obviously got to have an understanding that we're trying to throw a little so. And then coming out here every Sunday and seeing how they treat Justin, whether it's a safety over the top or safety, acting like you're going to be over the top and then coming down into coverage. It's definitely a good look for what we're going to get this season. And again, like I said, in the beginning, just kind of continuing to progress and learn from all those different coverages we may get.
How did the weekend game around shift when you guys have multiple directions versus late, just marking like, there's your all-pro outside linebacker.
Hey, man.
No.
For us, I think understanding, okay, this is what they might do for Justin, but at the end of the day, like certain defenses, most of them, they do what they do, and they're going to stay, with their base stuff, especially first and second down. Third down, they might have a different game plan that week, but I think as an offense, we have all the tools to be able to make adjustments on the sideline if we need to, but that's the beauty of this offense is, if every single play has an answer versus every single defense, it seems like, and that's been the joy about playing in this offense so far.
Look ahead. Do you have a preference about whether you play in preseason games or not?
I think for me, it's just honestly, whatever the coaches ask of me, I'll do. Whether it's playing, I'm always grateful to be able to go out there and play the game that I love. Or whether it's being on the sideline and being very in tune with what's going on the field.
Crawford look a little drained,
and continuing to progress mentally that way.
They look drained.
Get on the same page with deep balls.
I'm not. I walk around right now. I'm never going to need the rest of the.
Yeah, it's been something that I've worked on the last couple of years. I feel like early on in my career, the first few years, haven't been as accurate as I wanted to be. So it's kind of been a point of emphasis for me in the off season just to get better at that. And so, it's good to be able to make progress that way. But again, you just gotta continue to stack days. You can't be satisfied with having a good throw one day because or one play and then the next play it can just catch up to you really fast in this league. And so you just got to continue to work and stack good plays on top of plays.
Success on that final drive drill. What do you learn about this offense through those final drive situation type of drills?
Yeah, we have a great tempo offense right now. And I saw it last year on the sideline when in San Francisco when we came here and played at US Bank. They really pushed the tempo on our defense, and it was just sitting on the sideline watching, it was really tough for our defense to be able to, whether they were in base personnel and them going up tempo and running certain plays out of 12 and 21 personnel and them having base and being in certain matchups and only being able to be in a certain amount of coverages. You can really use it your advantage. And then in 2 minutes, just to be able to have that same exact system just in 2 minutes, it's really nice.
If you're a business owner, then animated explainer videos are the best way to capture attention, get more followers, and drive more sales. They're engaging to watch, super shareable, convert better, and make you feel like you're watching a Pixar movie, which is why they're used by massive brands like Google, Amazon, and Facebook. The problem is they can cost up to $25,000 for just one video, or require a fancy animation degree or complicated software to create one yourself. But what if there was a way anyone could create Pixar-level videos in just 10 minutes? Introducing Create Studio 3.0, the easiest way to make animated videos that lets anyone create professional 3D explainer videos in just a few clicks. Choose from your massive library of customizable templates, promo packs, and pre-animated characters. Drag and drop onto the timeline and easily edit in seconds. Quickly create your own custom 3D characters, just like it.
So a lot of the brothers, Showtime, 154.
154.
I mean, what's the weight class?
Super welterweight.
Super welterweight. I do that to him because he know about the weight class and this nigga was about so he know that shit. He look a little dry.
He look super dry and look a little
yeah, I don't love this look. I don't love this look. Huh? You look dry? Yeah.
You look drained too.
Yeah, he tell you look drained.
I hope he's ready. I could be wrong, but I hope he's ready. Who rooting against him? I said he looked drained. That's fat. What? What are you talking about? Rip him, man.
I don't know.
I said the man looked drained. That's it, bro. That's all I said.
He's not that nigga's shoulders look ready. When they come to boxing, I look at nigga's shoulders. Yeah. When they come to boxing, I look at nigga's shoulders.
Then what about the moment when you actually realize that you're not here by accident?
And if God can use a man without arms and legs to be his hands and feet to stand in front of the gates of hell and redirect traffic, God can use any willing heart. Amen.
And I really believe a mind once expanded can never go back to its original size.
To provide light and
We've seen in the past, Crawford, sometimes all of a slow starter, if he downloads the information, figures his opponent. So don't be surprised if Madrimov can bank a couple of rounds.
You know what? They call him so sorry because he's a counterpuncher by nature. He's not supposed to. He wants to see what you want to do, and he's going to take those opportunities. Yes, he's usually got his up great foot. Notice how the body movement, how his head is never in his hand.
Both of these fighters.
That's right from the dude. It's legit. That's straight right. That's straight right from the Russian. It's legit.
You see it, they get in front of one another, and they don't take a step back and start over. No, it's kind of like they're trying to get each other drunk. Timing, none of them wants to take a chance. But now they're in the ring. Can you see the size of that Madrimov has? How wide his back is, the shoulders.
He's a lot bigger than Crawford.
We know Madrimov has fights, but the fact that he keeps making Crawford start over, it lets us know that he deserves to be in the ring with Crawford.
Dealing 10 pro fights, but having recorded 350 amateur bouts. That's what they do in Eastern Europe. They put a premium on amateur careers. But right now, Madrimov, the WBA champion.
Crawford's fast as fuck.
There's a counter with Madrimov.
We're waiting for that right hand. Crawford saw that coming.
Who got first? Who got first round? Shut the fuck up. No. No. Roger. Open the door. Open the door. Look at the door. Make sure it's Marger. Hey, Morgan. Madrimov won that round. I think so too. Other boy, old boy won that round, not Crawford. I think so too. But Crawford didn't win that round. It was a very low action round. And you he got a fight over there too. Everybody did. Crawford didn't win that round, bro. He was that aggressive. He was coming forward. He landed one shot. He landed one shots too. Oh, he made everything. Yeah, everybody good. Yes, I need to see that. Okay, you got on my side.
That was a really good control first round for both guys. Just looking, trying to download information as we like to say. They put up the other one was on the back. But look at that first round for both guys. Yeah, so that was shot. I like the way that ended it, but you can tell he has the strength and edge. The upper body movement, it's always never stop. It's always protection. So it's hard to it's little things like that that will stop the rhythm, the rhythm. So again, another thing that Madrimov can do to stabilize the Crawford is that movement, that upper body movement.
Madrimov trying to remain a puzzle that Crawford can't figure out for the long.
The other thing I see is Will Crawford moving to his left. He's again trying to take away the jab. And we see if Madrimov can't land the jab, he can't get started. All the way to Madrimov sets over to his right. Every time he tries to get off the ring. The funny thing is step over, we know the punches. But you got to stop sharpshooter standing across from me, so that's why we're not getting that step hand from Madrimov.
A professional experience was 11.
How does he expect his power?
More than 300 spins. So he's been around times.
I like those footprints that Madrimov. They're not fighting on him, but he's struggling with it.
Absolutely.
I gotta say, it's a still fight so far for the crowd. But I like the control of the guys. I like the guys.
It's what he does. But I definitely
And from Madrimov. Another one. Checks it out.
He's out is just his football IQ. He's very bright. It's very important to him. You know, we were in a staff meeting the other day, and he said that Gabe Murphy despises bad football. So it's a good thing to a good thought from a coach to say about a player. So
motherfucking tough German.
He's done a real nice job. I'm excited to see him moving forward and, in preseason games. Yeah, we got a long way to go, but he's off to a good start.
Anything more about his abilities that you didn't see on tape, or is he kind of what you expected?
Yeah, I mean, you never really what you see on tape is very different than what you get when you get a guy in person, day to day. Learn their strengths or weaknesses. You get to know them a little bit. Figure out what buttons to push, what buttons not to push. And as a coach, and as coaches, we try to, that's part of this learning process of each player, their strengths and weaknesses, but also just getting to know them as people. So to speak to that, last night I met Levi Rodriguez's parents. I always think that's a good time to me to ask questions about the player that I'm probably not going to get from anybody else. So that was a great conversation. We had a good talk. I mean, we had to talk for probably 10, 15 minutes. And you could see why Levi has made it up to this juncture. He's a hardworking kid. His parents are very supportive, and I think that's it's a long-winded way of saying you don't really know all about the player until you get them and learn more about them. And we're continuously trying to learn more about each player.
What have you thought of Levi on the field?
I think he's done a lot of good things. I think he's picked up the playbook quickly. I think he's full of energy. I think he's got some athletic ability, but still early. But we're trying to put him in as many situations as possible to see what roles he might fit him best. And we're really doing that for everybody. But the young guys, especially, their first training camp, you don't really know, from a capacity standpoint, how much they can handle early on, and then you try to build on that. So start with a small role and then try to build on that. That's really kind of the plan for each player.
With Gabe Murphy, were you guys surprised at all that he ended up being an undrafted free agent? It seems like there was a lot of projections that he was going to be probably a day 3 pick somewhere.
That happens every year. For whatever reason, I know we like them on tape.
If you're a web designer, here are 4 VIKES Studio features you gotta know.
It's a chess match like a motherfucker.
So first on the list, Section Grid. I'm talking about a revolutionary tool that lets you create your own intricate layouts, but still keeps it intuitive at every step. So you can split cells, create gaps between them, drag to resize, and swap them around. All right, this next feature has saved me hours of work. Responsive AI. You set up your design once, and with just one click, it'll analyze the section and automatically adjust the response behaviors for each element to fit every breakpoint. Another huge time saver, no-code animations. You can create unique brand experiences with anything from micro animations to rich, complex interactions, and easily customize them for that fine-grained control. And all of this without a single line of code. And finally, we've got text maps. This is a great way to make your client's brand stand out. You can fill live text with images, gradients, or videos to make it pop. And it's optimized for SEO. So these features have totally changed the way that I work. Now it's your turn. Head over to VIKES Studio to nail your next brief.
In general, my style is about leaving in the crumbs and the messes, but sometimes there's little things that shouldn't be in the photo that.
You saying some dudes bitch up after they get hit.
He get hit and still get. He gets more aggressive. He also gets back to the count. Yes, he does. You activate it when you hit him like that. Some niggas is like, okay, you got me. Listen. Some niggas is like, okay, you got me. Some niggas is like, how dare you see?
So you talking about how he reacts?
And they be mad, and they know they better than me, and I'm thinking they get back to me. Some niggas like, oh, you got me, okay, good, chill.
It's about how he reacts to the punch.
He's super competitive.
That's right.
I know ain't nobody
And we're sitting there at the end, and there's an opportunity to grab him as an undrafted free agent, and say to a man, we were all in favor, highly in favor. Let's
what you
do
said,
we gotta
though?
do to get this done. And Kwesi and his staff were
Said,
the
can't
same
nobody
way.
go A round without getting hit? That's cap.
We were able to get him here, and he's done a lot of good things. We're not crowning him by any we're not crowning him, but he's done a lot of good things.
In the same vein, I guess, of asking about some individual players, with Dwight McLeathern, what are some things maybe that you liked that you wanted to bring him here, and then how has he done so far, just getting acclimated?
A lot of people call him Dwight. Goes by Nudie. So, for those who didn't know, I'm just gonna put that out there. But Nudie's done a real nice job. We liked a lot of things about him as well coming out. Ball skills would be the first thing that comes to mind. He's a guy who's just got a knack and a feel for being around the ball when it's in the air. Obviously, he's got height and length and speed, but the instincts are the thing that jumped out to me and us as a staff. His familiarity with DJ was certainly a plus. Durante having coached him at LSU. So there's a lot to like about Nudie. It's important to him. He works hard. He wants to do it right. So again, we're just going to try to build with these young players and just try to help them improve day to day.
The origin of the nickname.
You're gonna have to ask him. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. So you're gonna have to ask him next time you grab him.
Been at least a public narrative that you and the defense will look to use more man coverage this year. And I wanted to know if that's even something that's you are thinking about, and not just kind of a reaction to the way you played last year in the back end. And second, what's your process for deciding, man zone, what kind of scheme you're going to have at a given point in time?
I think that goes all the way back to postseason self-scout, things we did well, things we didn't do well, situations, third down, red zone, 2-minute, early downs, play action pass, go through all of it. You spend time going through the film, and you come up with a plan for how you want to play the next season. I think every team does that. Actually, I can't speak for every team. That's how we've done it, or how I've done it in the past. And every year is different. And I think you got to reinvent yourself every year. And if you do the same thing every year, I think in this league, the coaches are so good and the players are so good that they'll catch up to you. Especially if they know exactly what you're going to be in. So defensively, there's a concept or a run or a screen or some offensive concept that beats every defense. So if they know what you're in and they call it, they dial it up, they got you. So I think you want to be you want to have as many different structures, coverages as you can, just to keep the offenses guessing to a degree. But at the end of the day, I think those critical downs, you have to have the ability to play the game. And I think we'll try.
Why do you lie, liar?
What's the best piece of intel you got from Levi's parents?
I got a lot of good stories about him as a youngster, causing chaos around the neighborhood. You might want to do a piece on them. They're pretty good. They're it's not gonna get in trouble. Not in any more trouble than the stories I have about my kids and what they get into. So, and the things I got into. So, look, you guys know Levi. He's energetic. He's fun-loving. Apparently, he's been that way, since birth.
If you're not making $158,000 per year, but you'd like to, I strongly encourage you to start a.
He's got an older sister who apparently is, a really important figure in his life. So just kind of getting to dive into some of those things that are always good for me. And it was a fun conversation. There was a lot of stories. I'll let Levi tell you or his parents tell you those and keep those private. But they were fun stories.
When it comes to the undrafted free agents, getting Ivan last year and then finding guys who contribute, what is the process like of identifying those guys around the draft season that you might have a chance to get that might be aren't drafted?
Yeah. I think when, for us as a staff, when we're looking at players who may go late or undrafted, it's about fit. This league's about fit, time, and timing. You get to the right place with the right coach, the right system that fits your skill set. It allows an individual player to, see his potential. And sometimes, you don't get in the right place. You're in a system that doesn't fit your specific skills, and it takes a little longer to reach that potential. So I think we're looking for, in that process, along with, Quasi and Griggs and Demetrius, Chiz, and their staff, Money. We're all on the same page as far as the fit. I think he's going to come here, and this is where he fit. This is how he play, and you never really know till they get there. But we always say our job is to predict the forecast, and when you put your scouting hat on, that's what it is. You just predict the forecast, and with the undrafteds, I think it's, or the late rounders, it's, what's the fit? Does he work hard? Can he do the things he needs to do to develop? Because every player in this league needs to develop. You gotta have work ethic to develop. Because you can be super talented, and the superior talents, they cannot get better, but they normally do.
Shut up, David Hayden.
And for the most part, the talent level in this league is pretty even. It's the guys who really work hard on the skills relative to their position, work on their craft, work on their conditioning, work on those are the guys who develop, get better, get more reps, playing time, and then the light bulb goes off on the field. And once that happens, so long-winded way of saying that's the process.
What more? All the positions
You got an hour? I mean, I think, Josh is the type of guy who wants more.
That's not a bad thing.
In a way to improve in whatever we really ask him to do. So, maybe it's more man coverage. Maybe it's blitzing a little bit more. Maybe it's blitzing from a different position. Maybe it's the nose this year. So I think with a player like that, you can be as creative as you want to be. Just now, I went out there and I was like, hey, let's experiment with this coverage, see what it looks like. And it didn't work. So, it was part of that. We took it over. Say, throw that in the trash. It was my idea, by the way. But with a player like Josh, he's so hardworking. It's so important to him. There's really no limit.
Who won the first fight?
The one short now, it was already my favorite short. It really was. And now guess what? Now they got an inside no bounce pocket. And it simultaneously allows air breathing while it holds your bits in place. What? While it holds my bits in place. Guys, what's bits? Are you talking about my ball? You talking about my package? I don't refer to my package as a bit. I don't say bits. I say units. The big stuff, the destroyer, the other leg, the jump jacker. That works. So And it simultaneously allows airflow and breathing while it holds my conjunction dropper. The iguana. It holds this size 11 sneaker. I ain't talking about the sneaker.
No, because
all right, you get what I'm saying. Basically hold your stuff in place where it should be. That's the beauty of the short. Keeping you in pack tight. Okay, guys, do me a favor, buy the shorts because they hold your bits in place. That's great.
Today we're going to be trying the Dave's Hot Chicken Bites. These are basically a tender, which is just sliced up into nugget form. Happy birthday to me. Pure white meat. And what I love about Dave's Hot Chicken is you know the quality you're getting. Every single time it's the exact same thing. You never get tenders that are like crisp, one's a little burnt. Like they all taste incredible. So good. Another pairing that offers honey. Look at that. Oh, honey is a great addition.
They said 3.
Oh my God.
What? Vanilla won all 3 times.
Yeah.
On the cards. He did not win all 3 fights.
Vanilla won
the first fight was,
but at the same time, you never want to overload a player. It's all got to fit within the system of 11 guys on the field. So it's not a one-man game. That's one thing about this group so far, and it's something we as a staff talk about day after day is, it's a team defense. It's not one guy. I tell them every day, it's not my defense or
it's not as worse as Bob.
It's their defense. So,
they make some mistakes,
and they make it go. They bring it to life, and I think if we have that, we'll, along with just building those relationships and that camaraderie, I think we'll put ourselves in the best position to have some success. And even then, it's hard.
Who watched that fight? Who watched Jordan's whatever his name is?
Kind of working with the rules and trying to keep guys fresh for a long season while still getting the physical work.
Rob, I think I've always thought you can push. I think there's this threshold that guys think they've met. And you can push through that threshold. So
the judges
our guys are trying to work in that manner to put themselves in the best possible position from a conditioning standpoint to go out and play 60-minute ball games week after week after week. But as far as practice, as far as putting together a curriculum for installs and, this coverage is going in here, these blitzes are going in here. We try to be thoughtful as far as putting that together. And I think our staff is, between Pet, DJ, it's Bravo, Marcus Dixon, who's been a great addition. I think they've done a great job of just us working in collaboration, working together, put that curriculum together. And try to put these guys in the best position as far as from a learning standpoint.
I don't like it, but he has good happy with it.
That's good skill.
Quite a bit different than when you came in the league, just given different coaches, different times, different rules, all that kind of stuff.
Man, you're just going to age me right here. No, it does. It does. Well, I mean, it was 2 days then. So a lot more practice, a lot more fundamental work, a lot more of everything. Team plays, 7-on-7 plays, red zone, I mean, all of it. There was more
you guys are not
for guys to get reps. You just get better by doing it over and over and over again. I think that's what anything. And it is different, but everybody's working within the same rules.
I knew he was going to take that.
And
I knew he was
I
going to
talk
take
to our
that.
guys about being efficient with our time. So individuals got to look like this. Our group periods got to look like this. Our walkthroughs have to look like this to get as much out of it as possible. And there's always, I'm constantly trying to tweak it and say, hey, 5 minutes here or 2 minutes back here. But that's a constant work in progress. Excuse me. And, we just try to do the best we can, but it is very different. All right. Thank you, guys.
This thing? It's what's going on inside of me. It's my moderate to severe ulcerative colitis. It wasn't always this calm. UC went everywhere I did, wondering when it would pop up next was stressful, doing a number on my insides.
That's not. I don't think that was the.
But then I found out about Velsipity, a once-daily pill, not a steroid or biologic, for adults with moderate to severe UC. Velsipity can help calm the chaos of UC. It quickly treats flares, providing a chance for lasting steroid-free remission. Don't take Velsipity if you've had a heart attack, chest pain, stroke or mini-stroke, heart failure in the last 6 months, irregular or abnormal heartbeat. Velsipity may cause serious side effects, including infections that can be fatal, slow heart rate, liver problems, increased blood pressure, macular edema, certain types of skin cancer, swelling and narrowing of the brain blood vessels, or shortness of breath. Tell your doctor if you are pregnant or plan to be. If conventional therapy like 5-ASAs or steroids aren't working for you, ask your gastroenterologist about Velsipity. Velsipity, help calm the chaos of UC.
You gotta fight. If you want to say right, you right. You gotta fight somebody right. You right. Fight somebody right. Who the fuck is you talking to? Oh, he just destroyed a nigga. He just destroyed a worthy. You're not worthy to be in my presence. Okay. I mean, did you watch Bruce last fight? I did.
With the head coach Kevin O'Connell, kind enough to join us. Welcome
just
back.
Destroyed a dude that
did you intend to go longer? Were you going to try to milk a little extra time today since you're off tomorrow? Or did the weather get in the way, or were you just ready to call it a day?
No, we are actually right up against the allotted 2.5 hours. So you'll see some guys working a little bit for another 5 minutes or so, but then they're off.
How cranky are you about that? I mean, you're considered one of the modern day ball coaches, but is there enough crusty curmudgeon in you that said, God, all these restrictions and deadlines, and we can't even get done what we want to get done? What do you think?
I can tell you that sometimes I find myself, the saying I like to use is fighting the anger sharks. When the rules are set up the way they are, and I'm in agreement with so many of them because that's what I do believe needs to happen. But considered by many to be a guy that cares a lot about culture, and sometimes that can somehow, be used against me in the state of the toughness court and things like that. I can promise you, these guys hear the message loud and clear of what kind of training camp this needs to be. It was today. We pushed and full pads 2 out of 3 days. We had a big work day yesterday in Shells. So we are attempting to push a little further than we ever have for a lot of reasons. The development of this year's version of a new football team, a lot of new players, names and faces that we're going to be really relying on. So we're trying to push it to the max every single day.
Are you sick of quarterback questions already?
No, not at all.
It's awful early. I guess you're going to get a couple from me. I have an unproved theory that I want to run by you about what you guys might deep down in your hearts have in mind.
Dude has skill, bro.
And it's said with no disrespect to Sam Darnold, the guy you signed for this year. I think you guys have very smartly set up a situation where you don't want to make this a daily discussion and debate about who's going to be the starter, who's going to be the guy on the basis of your own experience. You don't want to traumatize each other quarterback needlessly. You want to have a process to get him to that place.
Madrimov was winning the fight.
There's a part of me that thinks deep down you haven't and won't rule out the possibility that as this thing plays out, training camp plays out, it's just begun, and preseason games play out as well, that if J.J. McCarthy blows you away, and I would say blows the competition away, that it's not. It has maybe crossed your mind that maybe he does start for opening day on the first game. Am I kind of warm? Am I completely cold? What do you think?
Well, first of all, it's a very good question. Your theory is very well thought out, as always, Dan. But here's what I would say, and there's a lot of layers to this. So starting first and foremost with my belief of the development of the quarterback position. I do believe when you identify a player that you feel can potentially be your franchise quarterback, and not everybody in this day and age, and really throughout the the history of time, when we look around this league, we look at some of the best quarterbacks that we have in the league. And many of them, to a guy, had either early struggles that they overcame, incredible amount of adversity that they overcame, either their personal struggle, team win-loss struggle, Some quarterbacks get sacked 1,000 times, whatever it is. And those guys, their greatness, their eventual greatness, help them persevere. Then you've got the other crew where, they were either given a year or 2 or 3 or 4 in some cases, that ultimately, when their time was right, when they were called upon, they went in there and immediately took the reins and made something good even greater. And I think there's countless examples of both. And I think it's really important that every single quarterback should be treated with the respect of their own individual process and plan. And there is no cookie cutter way of doing it. There's a feel of how you coach the position. There's a demand you put on the expectations for daily growth and progress. And then there is a feeling, and I'm very fortunate for the first time in my career to be able to, at least be partly in charge to make that decision of when I believe J.J. McCarthy will be ready to go. But I will say this much. I do believe in playing the best player that gives you the best chance to win, which I think is really important. But that doesn't always, fall in a timeline that maybe makes folks happy in regards to this game or this opener or when and where is it going to happen. It's an organic thing based upon a lot of hours and time. And like many things, I'm sure in your life, Dan, when you worked really hard at something, and maybe it's those lonely hours that people don't see, the rewards and the benefits are coming. And we're certainly holding a daily, hourly, minute-to-minute process, not only for JJ, but for Sam and the rest of our quarterbacks as well. I want them to come out here and push themselves, to be aggressive with the football, to learn the ins and outs of this offense so that they can be an extension of me on that football field in that huddle. And I think it's, from the talent level of JJ and Sam, from their initial, introduction into our offenses at different times this offseason through training camp, both of them are farther ahead than where I thought they would be. What does that mean? I'll tell you that we're going to put them in a competitive situation and make sure we have the answer to the question of who gives us the best chance to win, but never at a personal detriment to J.J. McCarthy, my decision-making. And for any other reason, for me or for anybody else, it's going to be about J.J. McCarthy and what's best for his career. I don't know if that answers
Yeah,
that.
it's a pretty complete answer. I mean, the analogy I've used in the past has been Russell Wilson. As I recall it, Seattle makes the decision. They acquired, I think it was Flynn from Green Bay, who'd been a backup there and had excelled, and they said, hey, we kind of intrigued by him. But they also draft, maybe it's the old deal of we didn't intend to, but he's sitting there, we like him. Well, we're gonna draft Russell Wilson. And my recollection, and you probably would remember better, is that Wilson just blew everything away. That he was so far more advanced than even maybe the coaching staff expected. And they said, who are we kidding? Who are we kidding here? This is the guy that we're going to play from the beginning, and obviously for a long time there, it worked out very well. Is the analogy, is there a flaw in the analogy?
It's so funny you bring that analogy up because I was actually brought to Seattle the week before the draft to work out as a free agent quarterback and was told, hey, if we don't draft a guy, we're going to bring you here. I had a good workout, and I watched that draft very intently. And when Russell Wilson was drafted, I said to myself, I guess I'm not going to Seattle. And sure enough, you started hearing how well he did early on. And his specific skill set, I think, and how he played the position gave him kind of a leg up of why wait if he's going to operate and execute in this style of football, which I do believe you've heard me say this before. There's a lot of ways to get a first down, and I believe in all the skill sets of quarterbacks, and it's our job and my job specifically to make sure we maximize what we do around them, schematically, players, to fit what they do well.
The most fascinating thing about your whole draft process and evaluating several quarterbacks and the way you did it to me was, or I would think the biggest challenge with McCarthy was clearly he's a very athletic guy. He's got gifts, but he did not throw as much as many of the other quarterbacks. Doesn't mean he can't, but I would think that's the challenge. How did you go about answering that key question that even if he hasn't done it as often, that we see enough promise that we want to invest in this guy. We want to think this guy can be our future at the position.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I believe in a standard evaluation process that's very thorough. From the initial watch of all, very similar amount of snaps, whether it's 6-7 games off the jump to be able to get an initial feel of the player beyond just watching them on Saturdays throughout the fall. And then it's a matter of the combine comes around, and then you get the chance to go on visits. But then there's that last layer. And for me, to help answer that question with JJ in regards to maybe some less attempts and less, times throwing it around the yard like some of these other guys. I really studied some of those. Flo and I call them weighty downs. What does that mean? Third downs. You can run the football all you want. We hope to plan to do that this year, but there's still the secret to having an offense like that is converting those 3rd and 4, 6, 7s. And JJ, in his instance, was at a pretty remarkable clip of 3rd and 7 plus 8, 9, 10, where there is no run game. It's that quarterback dropping back and finding a way to make a play. And those, that data actually had more throws for JJ than even some of the other quarterbacks who you would not consider to be deprived of throwing attempts, in their college career. That takes away throwing bubble screens and, RPOs and all the early down stuff that you can rack up a lot of attempts on, and you get that weighty feel that I believe playing this position is all about at this level. I know I've benefited greatly from quarterbacks over my career, even here with Kirk, having the ability to make critical plays in those 2 minutes, 3rd down, red zone. They're point swinging, momentum swinging type plays that only that player can ultimately make happen for you. And that's where I got there with JJ. And we also had an unbelievable visit with him, very thorough, like-minded approach to all of our visits. And he just blew us out of the water with, just his depth and his maturity, but yet loves football and, couldn't wait to get started on his NFL journey.
So is it fair to say through all of this, and then we'll move on to some other things, that you're not ruling out the possibility that when you open the season against the Giants, that J.J. McCarthy could be the starting quarterback?
Yeah, I definitely don't want to be in a world where anybody shows up to this building every day thinking they've got a ceiling, a time stamp on them of what the expectations are. The expectations are to come in here and, be on a daily mission to be the best version of J.J. McCarthy, of Sam Darnold, of Aaron Jones, of Justin Jefferson. And that's the challenge that I think we've gotten these players to really understand. We will collectively take care of this team and this locker room the best in the NFL. I do believe we are, it's not just surveys and things that people like to talk about. It's the real feeling when you walk in this building. I do believe we have that. But with that comes a personal responsibility of what am I doing every single day to take advantage of what is all offered. And for many guys that are as talented as some of those guys that I just mentioned, it's just a matter of having a daily focus. What's one thing I want to improve on? What do I want to get better today at my craft to make sure that when I walk in as one of 11, we're moving the football forward, or defensively we're doing some things to stop people.
I think this offseason you guys got a tremendous break when Aaron Jones became available. I really do. I've always liked him as a player, even going back. I felt like Green Bay was at its best when obviously health sometimes got in the way, but when he was healthy and he was getting the ball, Aaron Rodgers, as good as he is, looked a hell of a lot better. So you got him. But in my heart of hearts, sometimes I wonder whether you really want to run the ball. Yeah. You're such a passing guy that, because I even go back to last year after the injuries, it felt like a lot of the stats indicated you still were going downfield a lot with people you could argue just weren't as good as number 8. So can you tell us, guarantee us, that you want, because I think it helps everybody. It would help Darnold, it would help the young kid as well, because I always think it has a place even in a passing league. Are you ready to actually commit to it?
Absolutely. And in my opinion, it's very easy to look at first and second down and say, hey, why are they leading the league in play action pass opportunities? And what that does is the quarterback doesn't really have to change protections. He doesn't really have to master the defense when we're spending so much time mastering our own offense. And then that also allows us to hold a pen in our hands as a coaching staff and try to generate open players, to not make them have to split the atom every time on third down, on the road, place going crazy, and now protection does come into play. Now reading, a little bit more unique, exotic defenses comes into play. So there was a fear at times. Fear is the wrong word. There was an urgency, I would say, by me to eliminate third downs by generating some of the best drives we've had here, even going back to all the successful games we had with Kirk, where you can go back over 10 plays and we might have only had one third down the whole drive. I think our first drive that we beat the Packers in my first game ever coaching, I remember having all these third down plays ready. And once we got that first down, we rolled down the field and didn't have another one until we eventually went for it on 4th and goal at the 5 to throw Justin Jefferson a ball out in the right flat there. And I just remember feeling like that is efficiency to be able to stack good football plays, whether it's ball out plays, screen plays. But no question, Dan, I'm telling you right now, and I've said it publicly enough, and I know our opponents who tend to tune into the show because of the greatness that you are, they're hearing that we're going to run the football, and we want to establish it. I have a ton of confidence in Ty Chandler. I have as every bit of the feelings towards Aaron Jones that you do. That's why he's here. I did offer to go pick him up in Green Bay and help him get his stuff here as fast as possible when we heard it would be possible. But Aaron Jones, Vikings fans, SKOL Nation, everybody's going to fall in love with this guy. Our building has already. He's unique. He's dynamic, and he cannot, be more excited to be part of our team and what it means to be part of this team. And we couldn't get him here fast enough.
His health has been an issue occasionally.
Yep.
So how does that enter into, you say, how greedy can you get if he's playing well? Or you think you still have certain ideas in mind that we're not putting him out there, 92% of the time? He's going to be the number one guy, I assume. But there has to be some sharing because we think that's the best chance to keep him fresh and available to us, not just at the beginning of the season, but at the end as well.
There's no doubt. I mean, I think when he's been at his best throughout his career, you've seen that other guy, that A.J. Dillon, or even going back previous, with I remember Dave Williams with him, and some of the other guys, and that allows him to be a featured all three down back. You don't just want to have him on first and second down and then have to pull him off the field to rest him on third down because he is a weapon in the pass game. He is as smart as any coach or any player I've been around from a standpoint of blitz pickup. We want to have that. But here's the great part is we feel really, really good about Ty Chandler. He basically ascended to the first, our number one back a year ago just by pure opportunity, not any kind of development plans or anything like that. It was, hey, this guy gives us the best chance to run the ball, the best chance to consistently protect the football when he carries it and generate yards after contact. So I'm excited to see both those guys because I do think they're different. I do think they have different skill sets, but at the same time, we can run the same offense with both of them, if that makes sense.
Catch the ball. That's a part of his versatility. A couple things on Jordan Addison that caught my eye. And I had a conversation with Chris Carter about this, a guy who obviously had some really significant challenges when he got here. He got cut by the Eagles. They claimed him as $100 waivers back in those days, and he fought some significant demons and saved his career, saved his life. And I don't want to make this exactly parallel to the Addison situation, but he's got some challenges here. And I said to Chris, because I want to be honest with you, that I thought in the press conference you guys had, I wanted you to be a little angry. I thought you, now maybe say it differently. You had a right to be a little angrier based on his first transgression to say, well, this is about this team, and we want to be the helper, but this is letting a lot of people down, and we can't have this. And he said, look, in his opinion, just because you and Kwesi said what you said publicly, he thought it didn't mean necessarily that you were anywhere near as quote unquote, philosophical privately. Is he right?
He's absolutely right. And I think I would be doing a disservice to the relationships that I've built with these players in this building of making this, and my role here really as a facilitator for the players in every possible way. If I just echoed my sentiments word for word that I say to Jordan or how I'm holding him accountable, I did say I was disappointed. I did say I was very disappointed. I did talk in words of personal responsibility, accountability, and I did use the word, handling the discipline to help kind of get us to the end game here, which I do believe in Jordan Addison. But he did need to hear the multiple conversations, both pre that press conference and post since then, about what it means to walk in this building every day and be a part of this football team and be in that locker room with those teammates. And I can promise you Jordan understands that. But it's about his decision-making moving forward that is reflected each and every time because we've had those conversations. And in regards to discipline, I think there has been some confusion. That is a league, player conduct type of thing, and I want to respect that. So I think people first and foremost just need to be aware of exactly what the circumstances are, both with what happened, how we are obviously demanding a level of personal responsibility and accountability in this building. But ultimately, this whole situation, the processes either legally or with the NFL, they will play out. And ultimately, my job is to, be who I say I am for these players. And that, contrary to popular belief, does involve me having hard conversations, because I love these guys, I care about them, and I want what's best for them. But if I didn't handle it in the authentic way that I thought was the right way to do it, unfortunately, people may disagree with that, but it means something to me to be authentic and be the same person every day. And that's not always happy-go-lucky, joyful. I understand that I need to obviously be more than that and be the head coach of this football team.
Tracy, in that press conference, I want to run a quote back by you that also got my attention. Using words like discipline and different things, like we don't really talk about it like that inside these walls. Inside these walls, it's about designing for the outcome we want. That surprised me too. I don't think you should have to apologize for using words like discipline. What am I mean, is there
I don't
semantics or what?
No, I don't want to speak for Kwesi, but I will say his role is different than mine. And I, with 100% certainty, everything that Kwesi and I talk about and the way we work together, I do believe is as good of a working combination as you can have in this league. But I will say that, my role here is being the head coach of the football team, and that does require some of those things when called upon. And I think that that's an important thing to talk about, because, whether it's the 90-man roster, the 53-man roster, plus our practice squad, I have devoted myself to these players. And like I said, that works both ways. That's praise, that's love, that's joy, that's making this place the best possible place to come to work every day. But too much is given, much is required, and I will and have to hold these guys to the accountability to their teammates that I have come to expect. But that's just a small part of it. The big part of it is the accountability that these players have come to expect from each other, and that's my job to continue to harvest that kind of environment here. And ultimately, that's the role of the head coach.
Last item, I promise. We got thunder. I don't want to get anybody in trouble here, but I want to try.
Pretty intimidating. It's right over your shoulder. This lightning right now.
Oh, great. Well, I'll be a sub. I mean, if lightning hits here, I'm just like I'm in the 10th paragraph. You got the entire lead, believe me. So, last item, because you've talked about this before. The question as you develop in this job of, okay, I'm an offensive guy, but I'm a head coach, and you've had stretches where you said, I feel like I get a little bit more involved defensively, which you've done. B-Flow comes in. Does that change it again where you're back to, I have so much faith in him. I leave it to him. I come in every once in a while. Where are you in figuring out what's the sweet spot for a head coach about how involved you get to your comfort level on the other side of the ball?
I can tell you we got a whole lot closer to that sweet spot when we brought Brian Flores here, because maybe it's not needing to get involved in defensive play calls. It certainly is, a philosophical thing to sit in a room. One of my favorite things to do from the day I hired Flo was to really talk. We talk football. He is so smart, and he makes me a better coach by talking with him. And then how we shape the dynamic and the personality and the makeup of this team through our defense, through our offense, how we want to, make our play styles come to life. He's been huge for me. He's a former head coach. He understands what all the things that go beyond the X's and O's and just coaching the team that I do deal with. And then ultimately, that sweet spot is me being the best possible head coach on game day. That's managing the game. That's, my friendly dialogue with the officials. That's ultimately play calling as well, using the resources of a great coaching staff in all three phases to get the best out of our team week in and week out.
Okay, I appreciate it. We go longer, but I do want to. The place is going to start unloading, so thank you so much for.
I do. I wanted to make sure you had the best of the best in the building here, so I figured you and I could share some aquapana.
Oh my God! How
water
about we
here.
have to toast? I don't want to drink without a.
Yeah, cheers.
What do we toast to?
Another great.
JJ starting the opener. Or is that like being a little bit too aggressive?
Why don't we go with another great 20 minutes well spent?
Okay, I appreciate it.
Because I always do enjoy talking to you.
I enjoyed it as well. Thanks for the time, and thanks for getting me some water.
You can't get that in the tent over there.
Well, they won't even let me in the tent. That's for sure.
Well, you can't get that in there, so I brought you the good stuff.
A buffet of food out to Common between noon and 3, and I still couldn't get in there for even a water, but this is the best water you can get. Thank you.
You got it, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No offense, but if you still think stocks, real estate, or crypto are the best passive income investments in today's economy, I'm sorry, but you've got it wrong. There's a little known trend attracting millions of dollars a day right now called audible uploads. Audible, owned by Amazon, is one of the biggest sources of audiobooks and podcasts in the world. And audible uploads can generate ongoing income with significant growth potential. In fact, they're one of the best ways for everyday people to start an extra income stream in their spare time.
I do this on a part-time basis, about 5 to 10 hours a week. I earn about $40,000 a year. There's no other job that pays with that little time.
I'm at just about $1,500 for this month, and that's only with one book. It was a book I wasn't even going to publish.
So you want to know how you can get started with Audible uploads too? Well, give me 60 seconds and I'll show you. Hey, my name's Amy Sanderson, and my friends the Mickelson twins here became multimillionaires in their 20s, not by winning the lottery, but by taking advantage of Audible uploads. And since then, they've generated over $100 million online, been named the 19th fastest growing company in America by Inc.com, and most importantly, helped tens of thousands of others learn about Audible uploads too, myself included. For a limited time, they're sharing how you can take advantage of this little-known Audible secret to create more freedom in your life with their short, free video training that covers their one upload method. And you can access the video instantly by clicking the link below and entering on the next page. Now, I don't know how long they'll keep this up for, but for now, it's completely free. And I promise it's the most eye-opening video you'll ever see on how possible it is to get Audible uploads working for you, in much less time than any online business I've ever seen before. Did you know that Amazon's created well over 40,000 millionaires? And at least 3 times that many people making 6 figures? Even if, like me, you're just interested in making a little extra each month. The good news is, more people are making more money today, faster and easier than ever before. But how are they doing it? Well, that's exactly what you're going to find out in the free video training. Plus, you'll also be given a copy of the Mickelson's best-selling book, The Freedom Shortcut, with more resources to help you get started. So you'll definitely want to check that out too. With that said, click the link now for the free video training on what we found is the best way to make extra income in your spare time.
First of all, it's like the shoot. Your first fight, you can't elevate the input lines because you feel and then you can react to it if you can't shoot it. You know what I'm saying? Right? Y'all know basketball, right? So like it's like German Lake was very good because he had a good bump and he had a good
Design, develop, scale, repeat. VIKES Studio, the platform for agencies and enterprises.
Introducing a redesigned Dix with an expanded assortment of the latest styles and the best gear to improve your game. New interactive experiences and a commitment to expert service. Welcome to an entirely new next generation Dix.
Good first day in pads yesterday. It's unique now with the Guardian caps on. So many more players. You don't hear as much, but I think that's a net positive for sure. Knowing that when we cut the tape on, very physical practice on the offensive and defensive lines. Really liked what I saw at different times from both sides. I felt the pass rush, especially on some of those, known passing downs, 2-minute things like that. So much learning still going on, teaching, but we're at the point now where the expectation is we are making a mistake not to be made again, or at least learn from to be able to be applied to whatever it is that we're really focusing on as we grow our installs and expand over these next few practices. Did want to, I know you guys hopefully heard that. We did add Bobby McCain, super versatile veteran player. I have some experience going against Bobby, whether he played nickel, safety, corner. He's really been a versatile piece that has some great background with flow in the defense. He was able to show up really on day one and take quite a few reps at the safety position in that second group. So wildly impressive for him to be able to show up like that. Right in. with the group. So wanted to also give you guys, didn't get a chance to the other day. Lewis is dealing with a little bit of a lower leg, some soreness, little strain there. I would classify him as day-to-day. We just want Lou to, feel ready to roll and get out there with his teammates as fast as possible. You'll see him doing some work on a side field today, and then we'll get him back rolling as soon as possible. And no real update on Shaq. Other than he's progressing kind of how we thought early on here.
Kevin, how quickly does a team discover its identity? What do you want the identity of this team to be?
Yeah, I think it all goes back to really emphasizing that play style. Identity for a team, when you talk about 53 guys, doing different jobs, 11 guys on offense and defense, it will look different. It's hard to that play style term really allows our coaches and our coordinators to really emphasize the things that they want to see. And it just so happens that I've kind of sat back and listened to a lot of those conversations amongst the players and coaches alike, and a lot of those things counteract against each other. So what that gives you is a competitive training camp where there are drill winners and losers. There are plays that we force on defense that we cannot let happen on offense, or vice versa. And then it all kind of wraps up with an exclamation point in the kicking game. But you kind of know based upon day to day, you walk off the field, did we get the value out of what the emphasis was for the day? And I would say without question we did yesterday. We'll have a shells day today before getting back into pads tomorrow, but today is a practice. We're still going. We're starting to try to really stack days in this training camp phase of this finite amount of time before we get into preseason games, joint practices, where we're really trying to grow it on a daily basis.
Jay Ward play a little more corner than he had.
He's just so versatile. I think that was one of the great things about Bobby coming in too, because now you have Bobby and Jay. You've got guys like Cam Bynum and Josh Metellus that can, whether it's different nickel groupings where they can be forces in the box to help fit the run, but also be, dynamic enough to be able to cover some slot receivers and things like that. And Jay, with his size and his athletic ability, we've always kind of seen him as a guy that can do a little bit of both. He did do both in the spring and had some flashes last year as well, late in the year, filling in inside for us, in the nickel spot. So
they've been preparing their whole lives for one chance at goal. Don't miss a single moment of Team USA with fast, reliable internet from Xfinity. Stream the action in every room on every device. Get the fastest connection to Paris with Xfinity.
Polly Pratt's wore many hats. They came from past jobs, in fact. Every time she experienced something new, a stack of hats grew. She even sat to with what's on tap, all while wearing a Viking hat. Then she found a place her many hats would be embraced, and she couldn't hide the excitement from her face.
I think it speaks to his versatility, but also the fact that a young player like that can handle and own the kind of information that he has to. And that's why we want to get him out there and give him some reps as we continue to see what this overall landscape of that full defensive back room will look like.
What's your QB assessment so far, especially for JJ and Sam? And are we closing in on seeing JJ with the first team in practice here?
Yeah, I think my assessment is, essentially how I wanted things to go early on. I mean, Sam's really taken the majority of the one reps. JJ's gotten some reps, 2s versus 1s, where he might not be out there with the one offense, but he's certainly seeing some of the things that will allow him to start phasing into, getting into the huddle. We're making it almost harder than it will be when he gets into that first group. But as far as rep counts and performances so far, I think that both guys have done a lot of really, really good things, and some more notable visually than others. But I also think both guys have made some mistakes with the football, learning mistakes where they're trying to either see if they can squeeze a ball in over the middle before a safety can step in front, or maybe not taking a chance down the field in a one-on-one where maybe that's our best option, and things like that. And then how we introduce the pass rush in pads now. How consistent can you be with your footwork as if it is 7-on-7, as if it is throwing in Josh's individual routes on air, because that's the true test, because we can drill everything we want to do. We can build a whole plan of attack every single day, but it's got to translate at least minimally at first, and then you start building comfort as it goes. And it's not supposed to be, remember what I said, we're not chasing perfection, just the progress that you can show from, like in Sam's case, throws an interception on a third down, weighty down type play, and comes back and hits a deep ball down the field. He's done it really a couple times now in those competitive settings, and I just like the response. And then JJ, just how consistent can you be, stacking as many plays, just doing your job together with the other 10 guys in the huddle, and good things are going to happen. And both of them, I would say, have done a really good job of that. You will at some point see JJ, be consistently maybe getting a little bit more one reps there. But at the same time, I feel like Sam earned the right to take the bulk of those reps early on here, without getting into depth charts and things like that. It's just a standpoint of how we need to practice, the comfort we're trying to build for the whole group. But as far as the rep count goes, and I do want to highlight Nick Mullen's ability, while getting maybe less reps than he has previously. You guys have seen him step in almost cold, and go out and throw a ball over the middle for a big gain, or get us into the right play. And he's already demonstrated his ownership of our system as well. So I've been really positive about the QBs early on, and now we just start raising the standard every day as their comfort level rises.
Trigger JJ getting some of those snaps with the ones, or is that sort of a pre-plan, like that'll happen when you already know it's going to happen?
Yeah, I think when you start, part of it too is the install process, Kevin, where you're still trying to get through a daily install plan as we build our offense. That's what can happen early on in defenses tend to be able to, nothing against defenses, but they tend to be able to just, have their one-word defensive calls, and they stand in one set. It's all great, but they can get those things in a little faster sometimes. But as I've told our offense, no excuses. I want to see execution because of how we handled the spring, because how we handle the aspect of the teaching and learning phase. You're really not learning much new for the first time outside of new players we may add. But the expectation is we shouldn't need multiple reps of not doing things right to then get it right. We're moving along on our install. Things are starting to stack. So I think as we kind of get to a place where we figure out that sweet spot for JJ's comfort, as well as Sam's trust and understanding in what we've coached up until this point, we can start doing that as well. And I also think it'll be good for Sam, to mix in some of those other huddles besides just having, Justin and Jordan and that offensive line. And, I want to see him go in and elevate that group as well. So it's great ops, much to be overanalyzed, but a lot of work to be done for sure before we get to a place where we're ready to start, really determining what that room's going to look like.
With Nick Mullins, you mentioned Sam getting a lot of reps and obviously JJ getting more than probably a typical 3 would. I guess, how did you go about broaching that with Nick to say you're going to probably take a smaller number of reps because of the situation?
Yeah, I'm not sure where that typical 3, unless I said that at this podium, I'm not sure where that's coming from. But as far as the depth chart in that room, I think it's pretty clear and obvious. If you, like you guys do, you make the commitment to come out every day. You see, it's pretty darn even between Sam and JJ, and in many cases JJ getting a couple more here and there with our ability to add some developmental stuff in for the guys down the line. And Nick's been great. If you got a chance to sit in the quarterback room and hear some of the the first person perspective that he can provide, either from his time last year, doing a lot of really good things for us, or previously working alongside Kirk hours upon hours. You've just really seen him start to really share that knowledge in a way. And I think that's where Sam's been awesome too. The dialogue between JJ and Sam and Nick and both of those two guys, and Jaron kind of highlighting where he was at, from his first exposure to the offense last year. Josh and Grant have set up a really, really healthy dynamic in that room. We've got great guys, and they're getting better every single day. So I think it's just a matter of, making sure they know the plan for the day to mentally prepare. But at the same time, I want them to understand there's going to be, different twists and turns to their rep plan based upon a design to get the best version of all 4 of those guys.
Aaron Jones change what you can do with your run game, and how important is that? Because you have 2 or 3 quarterbacks that are new to your system. be able
Yeah,
to get more out of your
I
running
think
game?
it's, what he's demonstrated over his career is he can be a really good gun runner, but he's also a really good runner in the dot and can, regardless of bigger groupings, spreading people out. He's got a great feel for, the intent of the play, what's his landmark, what's his track, and then how to pick up the blocks and the reads to be in the right spot for the sequencing. The run game, albeit much more physical to, try to get across the line of scrimmage with your guys up front and move a defensive front. The run game and pass game, as far as, the details of the rhythm of the play, the timing, at what point are we hitting that C gap off of, a certain play where we're trying to stretch and puncture? What point are we hitting a cutback off of a certain run? How are we picking up pullers in the gap scheme world? Like, there's detail, experience, and then comfort in that to kind of live in that world where you can see, see a lot and execute full speed with great ball security and explode when those creases form. And Aaron can do those things. Ty has had some unbelievable runs early on in camp, really maximizing what's there, and I love the way those two guys are really playing off of each other. And then Kane, finally healthy and feeling really good. You're seeing his explosion as well. So I think that group. But Aaron, what has probably been the coolest thing is watching him and CJ really lead that group as if Aaron's been here for multiple years, and that's just the impact of the human being and leader that Aaron has. But it's also showing up on the field.
This thing, it's what's going on inside of me. It's my moderate to severe ulcerative colitis. It wasn't always this calm. UC went everywhere I did. Wondering when it would pop up next was stressful, doing a number on my insides. But then I found out about Velsipity, a once-daily pill, not a steroid or biologic, for adults with moderate to severe UC. Velsipity can help calm the chaos of UC. It quickly treats flares, providing a chance for lasting steroid-free remission. Don't take Velsipity if you've had a heart attack, chest pain, stroke or mini-stroke, heart failure in the last 6 months, irregular or abnormal heartbeat. Velsipity may cause serious side effects, including infections that can be fatal, slow heart rate, liver problems, increased blood pressure, macular edema, certain types of skin cancer, swelling and narrowing of the brain's blood vessels, or shortness of breath. Tell your doctor if you are pregnant or plan to be. If conventional therapy like 5-ASAs or steroids aren't working for you, ask your gastroenterologist about Velsipity. Velsipity, help calm the chaos of UC.
The new era of business is here. Use generative AI on AWS to optimize production and scale your business from local to global. With generative AI on AWS, businesses can push the boundaries of innovation.
What does Jalen Naylor have to do if he wants to grab that wide receiver 3 position? You talked about his progress and how well he's playing.
Yeah, it's clear the impact he's had in the passing game. The red zone sequence on day 2. He made another big play in 2 minutes yesterday. What's so great about Jalen is his versatility. He's not doing those things all from the same spot. It may be, being the FZ or X on any one given play, and he's got the ability to own it and then apply what we think are pretty dynamic skill sets to go do those jobs. So he just, in the passing game, needs to continue to do the things that he's off to a start doing consistently, like we've talked about, and then
SKOL VIKES. What's good, man? What news we got, man? What news we got? McCarthy with the ones, you hear? Yeah. Oh, come on, bro. Come on, bro. There you go. Come on. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute, man. Woo. Here. What's the news? What's the news, man? What's the 411? Let me know the 411 here.
On a 4-1-1, huh? On a 4-1-1. So it seems like McCarthy is balling, huh? McCarthy getting rep with the ones. Let me know, yeah. What's going on with McCarthy, man? You hear me? Somebody let me know. What y'all letting me know, dog? The hell going on, huh? What's going on with McCarthy, man? JJ McCarthy finally does what Vikings fans have been hoping for. What did he do, Adam Patrick? What did he do, Adam Patrick? Heavy, you hear me? Earlier in this summer's training camp, Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell and offensive coordinator Wes Phillips both claimed that rookie quarterback JJ McCarthy is going to get reps with the first team offense in the near future. Well, that future became a reality during Friday training camp practice when McCarthy was given the opportunity to work with the first team offense when the Vikings were doing some 11-on-11 red zone drills. I love it. Let's go, man. Put McCarthy in the game. You hear me? Put McCarthy in the game, baby. Let's get it. Understand me? You understand? Let's get it. It was a small opportunity as the rookie only ended up getting 2 reps with the first team. According to Minnesota Vikings on SI's Will Raggets, the first play was end around handoff to wide receiver Jordan Addison, and the second rep saw McCarthy throw a pass that was almost intercepted by Vikings safety Theo Jackson. So a small opportunity. What opportunity was it? What do you mean small opportunity, huh? So he got 2 reps with the first team. You understand? My question is, why is he only getting 2 reps? Why is he only getting 2 reps? And I'm gonna get off this live because the music in the background don't want to get no copyright. You know how YouTube does, right? Heavy cap. But why is he not yet getting? Why is he only getting 2 reps? You know what I'm saying? And we know how the media has screwed things up lately. But why is he only getting 2 reps with the first team? If that's true, if that's accurate, understand? But I guess he's taking full advantage of the reps he has. Once again, a small opportunity as the rookie only ended up getting 2 reps with the first team, according to Minnesota Vikings SI Will Rack. So only 2 reps. Come on, no. Expect JJ McCarthy to get more reps with the Minnesota Vikings first team offense. Okay, even though McCarthy only wound up getting 2 reps with Minnesota's first team on Friday, it was still a significant moment in the rookie's quarterback's development. What's up with Saturday? What's up with Saturday though? What happened Saturday? Do y'all know what happened Saturday here? That's what I want to know, dog. What happened Saturday? Okay. Understand? Do you understand what I'm asking? What happened Saturday, dog? I need the news for Saturday, period. We saw the film, etc. What happened Saturday? This is really old news right here. Have been carefully calculated with their approach to rookie development, so one can safely assume that McCarthy's brief stint was with the first team offense on Friday was all part of Minnesota's plan. With the 2024 regular season still more than a month away from starting, there's no reason to think that the rookie quarterback won't get any more snaps with the Vikings first team offense during the next few weeks. Or did he get some snaps on Saturday? Or am I tripping? Let me know. If you're in the chat, lock it up. Yeah, late live. Let's get it. You hear me? What's the 411? What's the 411 here? You hear me? So what footage was that I was seeing where he's getting number one snaps, dog? Let me know. I must know. Is this to, what is this about here, huh? This about here, huh? What's about here, man? Where the reps? Where the reps? Did he get first team? Is he getting first team? These are highlights of what? This is awesome. This is awesome. All flying around. So are these highlights cap or what?
He's playing free safety. Darn it, the Jack.
I got him.
So McCarthy getting, I mean, those highlights were not very okay, there we go. That looked like the first string. We'll get into it more, man. Definitely check me out, tune in tomorrow, heavy dog. But yeah, JJ McCarthy, you know, he is getting first team reps. That's the news, so that's good news. But it's not shocked. You're not shocked or you're not surprised, heavy. You know? According to some outlets, he's been getting first string reps, dog. At the end of the day, period. Yeah, man, period. Let's go Vikes, man.